Welcome to the Win, Make, Give podcast, season 2. This is Ben Kinney with my backup band today, Mr. Chad Hyams playing guitar.
Dang, I was going for the percussion moment there, Ben. You didn't tell me I was on the guitar.
Bob Stewart playing drums. Oh, and Dave in the background playing silent. Season 2, we are all about winning, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about. We're interviewing winners. We're talking about winning. We're coming up with strategies so that we can win more. And here's why. We are tired of things happening to us, Chad.
Yes.
What is something that happens to us?
COVID. It happened to me.
Apparently, Chad Hyams caught COVID in circa 2015, yes. Prior to it.
COVID-15. Yeah, he had COVID-15.
Ever existing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What is something that we say happens to us?
You know, in my 20s, Ben, money happened to me. It just happened to me, right? Like I'd earn it and then I'd spend it and it was just happening.
Yeah, or you would have a money problem. At that age, most likely it was your car broke down. I remember I had a money problem. Money happened to me, and the clutch went out on my old Toyota 4Runner. And I did not have enough money to pay somebody to install it, so I had to figure out how to install a clutch into a 4Runner in my yard, laying in the dirt and the grass and the mud. And it took me 4 days. And that's where I first learned the value of time over money, because I could have just worked for 2 extra days that week and made enough to pay the installer. But other things that happen to us, if you don't take control, health happens to us.
Absolutely.
Right? Chad, you got a whole series of episodes on the 15-Point Plan podcast talking about how health and happiness is something that can happen to us. A business is something happens to us, like business is good or business is bad. Got a message from one of my partners today that says, gosh, do you ever feel like quitting? And I said, yeah, every day.
Sure.
Sometimes business are things that happens to us.
Relationships happen to us.
Relationships.
Personal and business relationships.
Yeah, and these are things that in many situations we cause. Now, here's another question I want to ask. Do you want to have an average or ordinary amount of money, Chad?
No.
Chad wants a boat with his flippy floppies.
No.
Bob, do you want to have an ordinary or average relationship with your bride or your children?
No, absolutely not.
That's why a lot of people have a practice wedding. And in that situation, they had an ordinary or average first marriage, and their second one is no longer ordinary average. They're going to do it better.
Guilty.
Both of us.
Do we want to have ordinary or average health?
Definitely not.
No. Bob and
I
are like, maybe.
Debatable
maybe.
in this room, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to have an ordinary or average business.
No.
Here's what I did. One of my favorite, well, I'll ask you guys the question. What was one of your favorite board games growing up?
I love Monopoly. Risk was another one that I loved.
Good ones. Monopoly, yeah. The game that never ends, Chad?
I liked Risk and Sorry. I like just knocking the people off the board and all that. Yeah,
game.
That was a good one.
Oh, I liked, you remember the Operation one where you have to pick the hearts out and you couldn't touch the sides?
Yeah, he's got brain freeze now. They've added brain freeze to Operation since we've grown up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Here's one that I loved. Chutes and Ladders.
You know what's so funny? I just got that game in my house. I just played it 2 nights ago with my kids.
It was
you having as much fun as you used to?
No. Carter's 3. He if he's losing at about the halfway point, he just knocks the whole board off.
Wow.
It's a winning strategy right there.
I wonder where he got that. There was also a version called Candy Cane Land or something.
Candyland. I have that game too. Those are literally the 2 games
different.
I play with my kids. Candyland and Chutes and Ladders.
But Candyland's kind of like Chutes and Ladders because you can slide down the candy cane.
Well, no, you go backwards
back.
when you get certain, you could pull the candy cane out of there and you got to go to wherever the candy cane is on the board. So you do end up going backwards, like on Chutes and Ladders. When you hit a chute, you go down and you go back. Yeah.
Okay. So here's my point.
There was a point to this?
I drew a Chutes and Ladders board game visual on what winning looks like. How do we go from being average and ordinary? Call me anything but average or ordinary.
Yep.
Right? Because I'm an above average weight and a below average height. I do not want to be ordinary or average.
Nope.
All the way down to winning at the highest level. So today, I'll actually take this Chutes and Ladders image and we will put it in the Facebook group, which is
facebook.com/groups/win-make-give.
pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you know the name of the podcast, you can find us on the Facebooks. I will put this image on there, our Chutes and Ladders game. Maybe we'll make Josiah make it a little bit prettier, something like that. But anyway, follow along. If you're sitting in your life at any point and you're saying, you know what, I'm tired of being tired. I am tired of being broke. I am tired of having a crappy business. I'm tired of being in this mediocre to poor relationship. I want to change something. This is the recipe for you. This is how to win in a roadmap, so to speak. Okay. We might even call this the winning roadmap. I don't know. We might have just coined that term right here live. Okay.
Dave, write down like a time, a date, something. Can you memorialize this for us?
Okay. Trademark. Okay. Starting square of your Chutes and Ladders game, you're average and ordinary in some area of your life, but you want to change it. So we're going to talk about this. The first step as you roll across this board game that we're designing in real time, the first stop is the little box that says self-leadership. Self-leadership, in my mind, is we need to focus on improving ourselves before we spend too much time and energy complaining about other people or the rest of the world. We need to fix the person that's standing in our shoes first. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you do that? Self-leadership is about creating and finding habits that are going to solve those problems that we're running into. We're talking about financial habits. We are talking about health habits, business habits, relationship habits.
Yep.
And it could be as simple as, I don't drink calories. I'm going to walk 10,000 steps. I'm always going to have a date night. I'm going to put my phone away for 1 hour every night. You know, these are all habits that we come up with.
Sure. Easy, simple, little habits that'll build up.
Yeah, which you'll hear about through all the different episodes that we do here at Win, Make, Give. Additionally, self-leadership is about finding models and systems that work for you. And I think that's a really key point. There's a lot of models and systems out there that if you had me try to use, it wouldn't work for me. It has to be tailored to what you're willing to do and what's unique in your life or your business or in your health.
So none of us are on the same journey, so we can't all follow the same program along the path at times.
Yeah, think about in money. Like there might be an amazing model or system for making a ton of money, but you personally or you and your spouse don't have the same risk tolerance.
Sure.
You don't want to hound all your friends to buy their soap through your store. I mean, because people make money at Amway, right? Like people,
sure,
or it's not called Amway anymore, but the people have made a lot of money there.
Well, we all have different,
right?
Well, we all have different strategies. We were just joking about a stock, for example, that I was excited. I bought 2 shares of. Bob was excited. He bought 200 shares of, and Ben, you bought a few more shares than that. Me, I made 3 cents on the transaction. You guys made some money on that transaction. We all have different paths we're following because we're all in different places.
For sure. We could be in different parts of the world. You know, we talk a lot about investing, and maybe investing's a little bit more difficult if you live in San Francisco and you just can't get close to the rent to the payment ratio that we want. So maybe that's just not going to be your model, your system.
Sure.
A health one.
There are so many diet health programs. I can't follow a keto program. I can't follow an Atkins style program. Yet there's some people out there who have great success. You do your crazy intermittent fasting where you just don't eat for a week. You know, different plans for different people depending where we are.
Yeah, I've coined that the Jesus diet, actually.
Yes.
40 days and 40 nights without food. Like you can weigh whatever weight you want, Bob, if you just say, I'm going to follow the Jesus diet. Walk across the desert and not
from
eat.
the dead, too, because that sounds dangerous.
Anyway, take a second. Think about or write down what are some habits or some models or systems that you need in your life to improve you. Well, here's the next step in this roadmap. If you've been successful at creating habits, models, or systems for yourself, then you earn the right to lead others.
Okay.
Now, that could be as simple as you're raising children now, or you're in partnership with a spouse, or you have an employee, or you volunteer at church, or you're coaching your kids, whatever, right? You don't get to do those things unless you're doing some of that for yourself, if you've already succeeded at some level on your own journey.
I mean, this begs a really obvious question for me, which is, should there be a test for some people to have kids? Like you basically said, you're earning the right to lead your children because you've demonstrated that you have the ability to lead yourself. I would, I was 30 years old when I had my first kid. I don't know that I was leading myself very well then.
No, the only test you took was your girlfriend took a pregnancy test.
Yeah, that's right. But
did she fail or pass? I'm not sure how you would say
she
that.
passed successfully.
Thankfully, Kellen's mom is doing a great job raising him. No thanks to me. But I matured in the next 10 years to when I had my kids. I think they have a lot better chance. But that's a real thing, right? Like you're saying, you earn the right to then lead other people. I don't know.
So Ben, this is
a sidebar for us.
Using our roadmap or our chutes and ladder game. We've gone up the ladder. We've moved up to that next step of being able to now lead others. Yet at any time, we could still go flying back down that slide, that chute. If we fall off these habits, these models, these systems that we've fallen, we could actually lose the opportunity to lead others as well.
And a lot of people do because they prematurely get in that position of leadership or mentorship or coaching, and they haven't truly earned it, and things fall apart. But here's as we look at this roadmap, this is in one area of your life. Right. You wake up one day and you said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm going to change something in my health. First step is figure it out on your own. I'm going to go lose some weight. I'm going to learn how to run, or I'm going to feel healthy and have energy, right? You get successful at that. What naturally happens, Chad, is somebody walks up and said, you know what, Chad, the last time I saw you, you were eating blizzards on Ben's couch.
Yep.
And you were solid medium husky.
True story.
And now, Chad, you are a lean, mean fighting machine. How'd you do that? And then probably another question that comes up for people that have been successful at getting healthy is, hey, give me a plan. Mm-hmm. Can you help me do that? Right. And you naturally start leading other people. Right. Well, think about money. You go out there, you're like, hey, I'm tired and sick of being broke. I'm going to go fix my finances, or I'm going to learn how to invest, or I'm going to buy a rental property. So you're sitting around dinner and you go to Bob, and Bob says, well, how's things been? I'm like, good. I just bought a house and I rented it out, and now I bought a second one. And you're like, really? I thought about doing that. How'd you do it? Right? And all of a sudden you're no longer just fixing your own problems. Now you're leading others. But there becomes a fiduciary duty in leading other people in faith, relationships, health, money, etc. And that's where you go from just having habits and models and systems to mastery. Mm. When you're leading others in those different areas, yep. Right? You're moving through our roadmap. You have to make a commitment to mastering the models and systems and having the knowledge that it takes to be able to not just do it, but explain it. Can you guys think of a situation where you actually know how to do something and you're relatively successful at it, but it would be super difficult for you to explain to somebody else how to do that?
Yeah. My golf swing, like I'm not great at it, but I can hit it. I'd have a heck of a time trying to explain how somebody would swing a golf club.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen me type, but my hands usually come in at like this weird triangle, and I can type without looking at the keyboard, but it's from years of not knowing how to type. I taught myself how to type, but I am definitely not this QWERTY.
Wait, do you have your fingers on the F and the J? Like, do you use those?
They just float in there, and
Is
I just
that why they got those little bumps on those?
That's where you're
Look at that!
Are you kidding me?
I did not know that.
No. It just floats. It just floats. I have magic fingers, and I just type.
I type like Ben.
But I couldn't teach somebody how to do that. If I had to go teach somebody how to do that, I'd have to slow down, go back, and really refine my model and my system and make it explainable. Well, we talked about this before in sales, is I became successful at sales through the failures of saying the wrong things enough times that I learned how to say it the right way.
Yep.
I probably cold called 250,000 people in my life at minimum and door knocked 40,000 homes at minimum. It might be double that, I don't know. It's a lot. So one day I was training this kid and we were selling cable TV door to door. Like you might want to imagine a crappy job, getting people to switch their phone service or cable service or internet, for 25 cents cheaper. That's a crappy job. Well, anyway, so I'm out there doing my crappy job and I'm knocking on doors and trying to get people to switch cable TV, and I became decent at it. So when my boss, who's a phenomenal individual and a great boss, he said, "Hey, go out and train this new kid." Great. So I take new kid with me, and I said, "Here's what you say, and you go on the right-hand side of the street, I'll go on the left, and I'll meet you at the end of the block." So he goes, he starts knocking on the doors, I knock on the doors, I get to the end of the block, he's standing there. I said, "How'd you do?" And he said, "I didn't get any." I said, "Did you say what I said to say?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." And I said, "It didn't work?" He's like, "No, it didn't work." I said, "All right, this next block, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to watch you do it. I'm going to walk with you, and we're just going to do it together." He said, "Okay." So he walks up to the first door. He walks up, and he knocks on the door like he was the police. Like he's like, boom, boom. Sorry, Dave. Boom, boom, boom. Right? He's pounding on it. And then he's like 6 inches away from the door, like looking through the peephole and like looking around the side, like, I don't know if there's anybody here.
You see a huge eye when they look out of their deal.
I'm like, gosh, nobody would have opened the door for that, dude. And we go to the next one. I said, "Watch me." I walk up, I knock on the door.
Properly.
I take 7 or 8 steps back so they could clearly see me from afar. I fold my hands in front of myself and I smile like an idiot staring at the door. And somebody opens the door and they say, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Absolutely, you can." Blah, blah, blah. And I go into my scripts.
Right.
I didn't realize that I had to explain that you don't knock on the door like the police. Like, I'm not trying to breach the door, right? and you can't stand up there, right, like a pervert trying to sneak a peek. Like you can't do that. You gotta back that butt up a little bit. Like these are little things that until you figured out how the mastery and documenting what you do, you aren't really leading others. You're just telling others what to do. Now, at some point in the leadership and management and the growth of other people, you're gonna get to the next square. And the next square is where your hourly rate increases and you start making more money in your career, your life, your position, or in the business that you have. Now, when you start making more money, a couple things are going to happen. What's the first thing that people do when they make more money?
Spend more money.
That was like synchronized, correct
We weren't even
answer.
looking at each other.
Chad and I have both made at some point in our life more money when we weren't prepared for it. So we know the answer to that one.
What did these two guys do when they started making more money?
Spend more money.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a perfect example. What do they spend more money on?
Couldn't even tell you what it was because I don't have it and it was a waste.
Cars,
Blizzards,
stereos,
Shoes.
new TVs,
DVDs
Vegas trips.
that I don't even need anymore, and I've got.
We're
over
not even going
1,000
to
of
dive
them.
into how you spent your money in Vegas, Bob. But we start making more money, and we get to this next level in life, and sometimes that even becomes a worse spot for us because more money creates more pressure, more stress, or we end up with more liabilities or more downsides on a tough month, right? So at this level, the next thing we need to learn is we need to increase our what, Chad?
Our financial IQ, Ben.
Yeah, that is our knowledge of our expenses and our incomes.
Our net worth. Tracking all of that information.
Our net worth.
Yeah.
How to invest, what we should invest in, all the things that we started covering in the wealth series.
Which you can still go to at winmakegive.com/wealth.
Ooh.
Take you right to the courses and the handouts that come with it.
What a nice little tidbit.
There you go.
We start increasing our financial IQ. We do that by adopting financial and business models and systems and plans. What is my real estate investing model? What is my my profit first model for my business? What is my stock market retirement model and system? What is my saving model? What is my expense management model? What you're seeing is that each step of the board, it requires a different level of models, systems, mastery, and knowledge.
And I think what's happening here is we're getting that highway all merging together on this roadmap that you have, Ben, because it could be from your health, it could be from relationships, it could be from business or money that still are always going to lead to income, because it's always going to come to leadership of others in those categories, which will create income opportunities for you. So you might become a health trainer, you might become a marriage counselor or something along those lines, which will bring you more income. It's always going to lead to that more income. You're going to hit this wall at some point along the game.
Well, if you're successful at increasing your financial IQ and implementing models and systems around saving, income, investing, then you get to the wealth square.
So income becomes wealth.
Hopefully.
Right.
Sometimes income just becomes more pressure and strain, but the goal is that we move to the next piece on the game board called wealth. Now, what's our definition of wealth, Bob?
The ability to do what we want with who we want when we want.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
What's another word for that, Jed?
Freedom.
Freedom in a very awkward, weird voice.
Part of me wanted to go Braveheart there. Part of me wanted to go somewhere else. So
that would have been the worst Braveheart freedom.
I pulled back as I was going. I pulled back.
We all would have been like, wait, are we following that guy? I don't know.
It's like the Muppets reenact Braveheart. Freedom!
That's like episode number 4, I want noted, of the Muppets getting mentioned.
Freedom.
That was one of the only cartoons we had when we were young kids on a Saturday morning. You had to watch the Muppets. There wasn't much else on.
It wasn't a cartoon. They were actually Muppets.
You know what I'm saying.
Yes, they were.
What are you? So you call it? That's the only.
They were Muppets. They were a puppet.
That's like Kleenex. What tissue? What is their name though? If they're not they're a
puppet.
Puppet. Okay.
There was also.
It was the only puppet show on then. Saturday
we are
morning.
going
No, because there was also.
Fraggle Rock.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Mr. Rogers?
That's right, Mr. Rogers.
That's not a puppet show.
But he definitely
He
had
had
the king was a
puppets all the
puppet.
time.
The king with the trolley was a puppet.
know.
Dave, you have got to keep all this because who knows what we're talking about.
How did
Ben,
we
get
get
us back on
Did I do
this.
I'm
would you?
sorry.
The first cartoon I remember, just as a side note, ladies and gentlemen, Conjunction Junction.
What's
your
your function?
Right? Remember that
Absolutely.
one? Cartoon.
No,
I'm just
I
a
don't.
bill.
No.
That's Schoolhouse Rock right
I'm
there.
just a bill sitting on top of Capitol Hill.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's Schoolhouse
We
Rock.
would watch those in school, right?
I watched them on the weekends
Again.
when I visited.
Extra credit.
Weirdo.
Extra
when I
credit.
visited friends because I didn't have power. I didn't get cartoons unless I was at
On
somebody else.
behalf of everybody, I
I
apologize.
mean, look, I had 4, 5, and 7 and a grainy Channel 11 myself. So
All right, Ben, we went from self-leadership to leading others to creating income.
to totally off the rails.
Income turns into wealth, and we've gone crazy.
What a freaking dumpster fire of a podcast episode. Wealth's purpose is to create what, Chad?
Freedom.
And
Abundance.
thank you. Freedom and abundance. Freedom is the ability to do what we want, when we want, with who we want. And abundance is when we have more than we need. And we have more than we need, what do we get to do with it, Chad?
Give, Ben.
Give and,
Create a legacy.
which is another word that we say here at Win Make Give, do good.
Yes.
So the last step in our board of winning is to create a legacy. A legacy is so that we can be remembered after we're gone, so that we can impact people, so that all of our stuff in life actually has a clear purpose. So let's go back. I'm just going to walk us through in one conversation the roadmap to winning. Number 1, you make a decision. I'm tired of being average and ordinary in some area of your life. In order to fix that, you're going to jump into self-leadership. Self-leadership is created through implementing and committing to habits and finding models and systems for whatever area you want to fix. When you're successful at doing that, you're going to attract attention, or you're going to attract people that say, I want to do what you've done, have what you have, or be who you are, and you earn the right to be a leader of others. In order to be a leader of others, you have to understand that it requires an additional layer of mastery and knowledge and additional models and systems so you don't knock on the door like the police. And when you are really successful at leading others, opportunities come to you, whether in business or in life, and that should create income in some way. But income isn't enough, because I have a lot of friends who make a lot of money who still have zero money every single month. It requires you to have financial IQ, to really understand how money works and how investing works and what you actually have, which would require you, if you wanted to change it and then grow it, to have models, systems, and plans around saving, investing, your income, etc., which would create wealth. Wealth is freedom, gentlemen, and abundance, so that at some point in our life, we can create a legacy for our children or our spouse or our family, our neighborhoods, our communities, the cities, the world, or if you're Elon Musk, maybe for Mars. This is how to win in a board game format, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this gigantic dumpster fire of a podcast episode. Just remember to give us at least one more chance.
Come back for the next episode, folks, because we promise you we're going to be bringing you some value and maybe stay a little bit more on track, yet keep you laughing, because we want to make sure you learn how to win, and laughter is an important piece of it. Until our next episode, make sure you share this with somebody, at least someone who has a sense of humor. And until the next one, do good.